Tonight on WTOP 10 Nightly News, Governor Kathy Hochul and Republican candidate Lee Zeldin agreed to debate on TV.
Plus, a several-month-long ethanol fire plans to be put out.
And SUNY Oswego is holding their 18th annual media summit on Wednesday.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Jolie Santiago.
And I'm Kyle Spizak.
SUNY Oswego is gearing up to host the 18th annual Lewis B. O'Donnell Media Summit this Wednesday, October 26th. Oswego alumni and renowned media personalities will discuss the panel's theme, Underrepresentation of Athletes and Media Professionals in Sports Media.
The panel will be moderated by Oswego alumni Alif Kareem, who is a producer and editor for WJZ 13 in Baltimore. Professionals from popular sports media companies such as CBS Sports, the NFL, WWE, and ESPN will also be amongst the panelists to talk about their industry experiences. In addition to the panelists, career connectors will speak in classrooms about their careers and answer student questions.
The Oswego City School District is receiving recommendations from a central New York education consulting firm to close Lighton Elementary School. This comes as OCSD plans to address future enrollment declines and the district's current financial health. Boundaries for local elementary schools may be impacted by the potential closure. However, OCSD says it will continue to study the firm's recommendations.
SUNY Oswego is hosting a registration workshop tomorrow to help students prepare for the upcoming semester. From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., advisement guides will be around to assist students with reviewing their degree requirements, registration planning, browsing courses, and how they can add them to their schedules. Sessions are in 1-hour blocks and are on a first-come, first-served basis. No prior sign-up is required. The workshop will take place in Marano Campus Center, room 133.
A recent list by Slacker shows multiple upstate New York schools have the slowest internet speeds. A total of 275 school districts in New York failed to meet the minimum threshold. The data was collected from Connect K through 12, and districts are ranked by internet speeds in megabits per second. The school with the slowest internet speed is Victor Central School District.
A sigh of relief for residents of Fulton and Volney this morning. Oswego County representatives announced a plan to put several month-long fire and a former local ethanol plant to rest. Oswego County Legislature Chairman Jim Weatherup signed an emergency order allowing the county to work with contractors to extinguish the flames. The plan includes removing burning material while salvaging what they can in hopes of restoring the plant and creating new jobs in the area. Weatherup says the cleanup efforts are expected to begin this week.
Governor Kathy Hochul and Attorney General Letitia James are announcing a major expansion in the usage of New York State's red flag laws. Hochul and James announced a $4.6 million increase to the Attorney General's budget. They say it will further support state police's efforts to obtain extreme risk protection orders when individuals pose a danger to themselves or to others. The red flag law prevents individuals who show signs of being a threat to themselves or from others from purchasing any kind of firearm.
A trial is scheduled for Monday against the Trump Organization. It's accused of a tax fraud scheme that has been going on for 15 years. Amy Kiley has more.
Jury selection is set to begin today in the trial of former President Donald Trump's real estate company. The Trump Organization is charged with an alleged tax fraud scheme that involved paying executives off the books.
A company can't go to jail, but this can be very, very problematic for his company.
Trump's longtime CFO is expected to be the star witness. Alan Weisselberg pleaded guilty to 15 related felony counts in August. Those pleas and his testimony are in return for a lighter sentence. As for Trump himself,
he is not personally charged. I don't expect that that's going to change, although it obviously could.
That criminal trial is separate from the New York Attorney General's civil lawsuit. She's suing Trump, his company, and his 3 oldest children. That's for allegedly misrepresenting assets to get favorable loan rates and tax benefits. And those aren't Trump's only legal problems. A leader of the January 6 House Select Committee is giving new details about how he might testify before the panel.
It may take multiple days. And it will be done with a level of rigor and discipline and seriousness that it deserves.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
It is unclear if Trump will be appearing in front of the House Select Committee.
The race for New York State governor is heating up. Republican candidate Lee Zeldin has agreed to debate with Governor Kathy Hochul. The candidate is agreeing to enter the arena after weeks of attacking Hochul for agreeing to one debate on Spectrum News. The debate will come just days before New Yorkers start making their decision on who to elect as governor. WTOP 10 Assistant Chief Meteorologist Nick Cusano is here in the studio tonight with a quick look at the weather this week.
Nick, we had some warmer weather today, but it's only Monday. How long can we expect this to last this week?
Well, you're going to be expecting this warm weather to be continuing until probably Wednesday. We're going to be keeping that nice high trend that we've been seeing. And it's going to be cooling down as well on Wednesday due to some showers in the area. But luckily after that, we're going to be expecting some clear weather, nice sunny days, nice, clear skies. But also, it's not exactly related to warm weather. Opposite side, NOAA has finally released their winter outlook. And so they're saying that we most likely will be having a snowier winter. But it all depends on if the temperature is going to be warmer or colder, which right now they're having it at 50-50. But before I talk about all that, let's go back to the desk.
Coming up later tonight, a St. Louis community is mourning after a fatal school shooting.
And Great Britain has a new prime minister. Find out who that is after the break.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Good evening. I'm Storm Team Assistant Chief Meteorologist Nick Casano, and I'm here to give you, our little rundown for the week. So tonight, 10 p.m., we're looking at clear skies, 57 degrees, and as you can see, the temperature is going to be rising up throughout the night, which is really odd, specifically since overnight usually you cool, but it all makes sense with our high tomorrow, with it being 72 degrees, which is just insane for this time of year. It's definitely above average and definitely above the climatology for this time of year. It's going to be partly sunny. It's going to be, again, 72 degrees. Short weather, I'm going to definitely be bringing out my shorts, maybe even a tank top or something, because it's going to be hot. Southeast 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. And as we keep on going into the week, the 5-day forecast, I'm just going to talk about this because it's crazy. So Tuesday and Wednesday, 72, 73 degrees. Crazy temperatures again, as this week goes all the way back down to 55 degrees, as you can see there. We're just cooling down after the rain on Wednesday, with some scattered showers throughout the area, and all the lows are going to be 48, 47, 37. But it's looking like it's going to be shaping up to be a really good weekend for Halloween. There might be some rain Sunday, but It's a little too early to say so, but I thought I would just mention that. But let's just kind of like look at the 5-day forecast for a second. And that'll be all for my forecast. Let's go back to the desk with Julie and Kyle.
Thank you, Nick. A community is mourning tonight after 2 victims in a school shooting in St. Louis. A teenage girl died at the scene, and an adult woman was pronounced dead at the hospital. It happened at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School, located near the city's downtown. St. Louis police say a total of 8 people were taken to the hospital, with injuries ranging from gunshot wounds to a report of cardiac arrest. The shooter also died at the hospital. Police Commissioner Michael Sack says he engaged in gunfire with law enforcement.
Began to clear the building looking for the shooter. Upon hearing gunfire, they ran to that gunfire, located the shooter, and engaged that shooter in exchange of gunfire. The suspect was struck and transported from this location, and that suspect has since been pronounced deceased.
Meanwhile, in Texas, another community is recovering after a fatal shooting at a hospital over the weekend. From the outside of Dallas.
From the outside of Dallas Methodist Hospital, life looks to be operating as normal, but hearts are broken inside.
It's frightening. I mean, you really didn't talk to anybody about what happened. We had seen it on the news.
Every night at 6 o'clock, Bill Betson brings his friend ice cream at the hospital, but walking up Sunday night felt different.
To find out 2 people died and to find out that one of them was a social worker, I mean, that hits me at home because I'm a social worker.
A social worker and a nurse were shot and killed on the 4th floor near the labor and delivery area. 30-year-old Nestor Hernandez faces capital murder charges.
You never know what you're going to walk into. But I mean, this was tragic.
While authorities haven't released the names of the hospital workers killed, a fellow nurse did tell us about her friend who died yesterday. As, quote, she was a great caring nurse who loved her job. She loved her daughters and her grandbabies. She recently renovated her house and was looking forward to retirement. We also talked to people about the violence inside of a place meant to save lives.
Texas has a problem with guns. Everybody on the street can have a gun.
After Saturday's shooting, Methodist Hospital says they will have more security on campus and active shooter training for all staff.
This is a good place, but even at good places, things like this can happen, and that's the tragedy.
A new era is about to begin in the United Kingdom. Rishi Sunak will be announced the Britain's first new prime minister on Tuesday. The 42-year-old will be the youngest person in the position in more than 2 centuries. Sunak will also be the first Hindu and person of color to serve as a prime minister in the United Kingdom. Analysts say he is more moderate than the other 2 candidates.
The Hindu holiday Diwali has begun. The holiday is known as the Festival of Lights and lasts for 5 days, with colorful customs, rituals, and elaborate gifts. The holiday is celebrated in India, Nepal, Malaysia, and other southern Asian countries. The popularity of the holiday has grown in the United States, with stores like Costco and Hallmark selling decorations. Coming up tonight on WTOP 10, the CEO of a famous ketchup company is speaking out about inflation.
And the latest on what your COVID-19 vaccine side effects could mean for your health.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Here's your health and consumer report. Did you experience a fever, chills, or muscle pain after getting your COVID-19 shot? It could mean you had a better immune response to the vaccine than others. Researchers analyzed data from more than 500 adults who self-reported their symptoms after receiving the Pfizer or Moderna vaccinations. The researchers found that participants who reported side effects tended to have a better antibody response. But even for the people who had no symptoms at all, researchers say the vaccine still elicited robust immune responses. If you have dry shampoo, you may want to throw it out. A number of products from popular brands, including Dove, Nexus, Suave, and Tresemme, are being recalled because of potentially elevated levels of a chemical called benzene, which can cause cancer.
The company is recalling these products and others out of an abundance of caution. You'll find the full list of what's been recalled on the FDA's website.
The airline merger between Spirit and JetBlue is one step closer to reality. In today's Consumer Watch, a closer look at what this could mean for the airline industry, even if you don't fly on these two airlines.
Clearing another hurdle to join forces. According to preliminary voting results, a majority of Spirit shareholders voted in favor of the deal to merge with JetBlue, creating a new airline that could reshape the industry.
If they're no longer in the marketplace, I worry about what impact that's going to have on airfare.
But how would this merger impact you? In a statement, the president and CEO of Spirit called the merger an important step forward to create the most compelling national low-fare challenger to the dominant U.S. carriers. But travel experts are concerned, including Scott Keyes, founder of Scott's Cheap Flights, a website that helps passengers find cheaper fares. He says even if you don't fly those two airlines, fewer competitors vying for your business could lead to higher plane fares overall.
Researchers have studied this, and they found that when Spirit or other budget airlines start flying on a new route, fares across the board drop by about 20%.
JetBlue says it plans several changes, including reconfiguring Spirit planes to add first-class seating. JetBlue beat out an earlier offer to buy Spirit from Frontier Airlines, with both aiming to buy the budget airline to create a more viable competitor to the other four dominant carriers. The deal still faces strong antitrust scrutiny from the Justice Department, especially if they see the consolidation as harmful to consumers. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Once all the votes are confirmed, they will be filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The transaction is expected to be fully confirmed sometime in 2024.
The head of a multinational food corporation says he expects the food industry to be hit with higher inflation and more supply issues. Miguel Patricio is the CEO of Kraft Heinz. This week, his company will report its third quarter earnings. The CEO has noted challenges due to shortages of raw materials and inflation. Challenges which he says he believes will continue into 2023.
We've already increased the prices that we were expecting this year, but I'm predicting that next year, inflation will continue. And as a consequence, we'll have other rounds of price increases.
During the second quarter, Kraft Heinz raised its prices by nearly 12.5%.
Tesla is cutting starting prices for the Model Y and Model 3 vehicles by up to 9% in China. The move marks the company's first price cuts in China this year. The news was not welcomed by investors, with shares falling nearly 4% in the U.S. last week. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said he believes that China is experiencing an economic situation similar to a recession. If you tune in to WTOP this week, you can see our sports anchor Alex Brooks hosting the Media Summit red carpet on Wednesday.
But tonight, he's here with the latest in Lakers sports. Alex, you want to give us a quick preview?
Thanks, guys. Men's and women's hockey wrapped up preseason action in Oswego. Syracuse traveled to Clemson, and the 2022 World Series is set. All this coming up after the break.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 News. I'm Alex Brooks with your sports report, and let's get right into it. The preseason for women's hockey concluded this weekend as they welcomed the Nazareth Golden Flyers into the Deb. Nazareth was able to jump out to a 1-0 lead following a redirection off the end board for sophomore Ivy Leiden. The lead for Nazareth would stay until Oswego sophomore Megan Gates scored to tie it up at the end of the second period. However, Ali Watrous was able to take the lead and then score another goal in the third to seal the 3-1 victory for Nazareth. Lakers will welcome Adrian College for a weekend doubleheader starting this Friday to start the season. Moving over to the men's side of the ice, the Lakers took on the Carleton Place Canadians this past Saturday. The Lakers were able to score fast and with a Matt McQuaid goal 5.5 minutes into the first period. They were able to take control of the game with the aggression and possession approach that my man Kyle Spizak talked about on the call. Going into the third with a 3-0 lead, Oswego was able to score 3 more goals that clinched a 6-2 win at home. The Lakers will open their season with the matchup against Hobart on the road and Elmira for the Teal game this weekend. The 3-1-5 was busy on Saturday as Syracuse traveled to Clemson to try to keep their undefeated streak alive. The number 5 ranked Clemson Tigers used their rushing attack with Will Shipley and Phil Maffa combining for a total of 266 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. Clemson's backup QB Cade Klubnik took over late in the game and was able to rally from 14 points down. The defense picked off Garrett Schrader with 30 seconds to go to win against the Syracuse Orange for their first loss of the season. The 2022 World Series is set. Following 2 clinching wins yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies and Houston Astros will face off in the Fall Classic starting this Friday. The Astros were able to sweep the New York Yankees and advance to their 4th World Series in the last 6 years. The Phillies, however, were an 80-win team coming in and ran the table to advance their first World Series since 2009. If you want more MLB playoff talk? I'll give it to you. As we travel to Citizens Bank Park for Game 5 of the NLCS between the Padres and Phillies. We go bottom third, 3-0 count. Rhys Hoskins pulls out the green light lumber to left field to get Philly up 2-0. You see Rhys Hoskins there telling his dugout that he's feeling this energy in this Philly crowd. We go to the top of the 7th. Padres down 1, Josh Bell lines one to right, and it goes all the way to the wall. Jake Cronenworth comes around to score, and the Padres tie it up at 2 as they are still threatening. We fast forward to the 2 outs in the inning. Sir Anthony Dominguez throws a wild pitch that goes all the way to the backstop, and San Diego takes their first lead of the game. 1 inning later, runner on first, 2-2 count. Bryce Harper sends the Philly crowd into a frenzy, an opposite field blast that puts the brotherly love team 3 outs from a pennant. We go top 9, Padres still threatening, 2 outs. Ranger Suarez as Austin Nola pops it up to Nick Castellanos, and the Philadelphia Phillies win the National League pennant for the first time in 13 years. Bryce Harper takes home NLCS MVP, and Phillies flying high, and they know how they feel.
Yeah, it was a really good series, really close at the end there.
Definitely.
So we'll be back with more here after the break.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Up to Dobson at the point. The cross-ice pass comes to Parise, who's going to extend the lead to 3, but the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're not going down without a fight. Puck loose, out in front of net.
Welcome back to the best show on WTOP. I'm your host, Miss Meg Trivia. And I'm Donna.
We start things off in the pool as 4 members of the Oswego women's swimming and diving team have earned all SUNYAC honors. Oh, finally, get that old music back. Welcome live inside the El Roker studio for the newest episode.
Before we say goodnight, check out some pics of these photogenic pups and ask yourself, is my dog even more photogenic?
If you answered a resounding yes, your dog could make up to $10,000 a year.
Yappy.com, a website for pet gifts, is hiring a chief fluff officer. If hired, dogs will take photos wearing some of the gifts from the company's website.
Just apply by November 18th. There are thousands of applications so far.
That's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for the break with Scott and Kate.
That's what, Brooks. We had some crazy games this weekend. Oswego games. Got some crazy professional sports going. So we got a lot to look forward to this week.
Yep.
Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a mystical Monday night from us here at WTOP 10. Have a good one.
Were we supposed to answer? I'm sorry.